Okay, so let's get started, guys. I don't want it to waste the time. So, first of all, a spectacular evening for all. So, as you know, this is Chris, and welcome back to our day 3 session for API automation with Rest Assured. Okay, so Mans, can we quickly recap because it been 2 weeks ago we have been discussed on this, and then where we are on that. So just can we give a quick recap on this, what we have been gone through, and then what is a plan of action or where we have been exactly stopped, so that we will have a quick recap, and then from there we will start try to go ahead with it. Okay, and guys, feel free if you have any particular questions or any clarifications you require. So don't hesitate. You can stop me at any point of time. And today's session is little bit important because now, means if someone missed this session, they will not understand tomorrow's session for sure. So that's where I just pinged it, and then I have been waited for all others to get joined. But however, let's get started with the things. Okay, so last couple of weeks we have been started on the 8th and 9th of May, right? So there we have been discussed what is an objective of this particular session, and in this particular objective, so we just discussed like what we are trying to learn, so the basic concepts of API and its testing, and then we will write the simple automation code for the APIs in the rest assured tool, and we will cover specific prerequisite topics. The prerequisite topics are like the API basic concepts. We have been gone through the API manual testing first, and Java we should learn it, and we should learn BDD, and we should learn the Java objects. uh, we should learn that's the reason it was slightly distracting for me. Okay, so when we okay, so when we have been seeing it, so here we will be learning the Java, BDD, and JSON objects, and then we will be understanding the JSON path, the G path, the Jackson, and etc. And we will be learning about the Hamcrest and the libraries. And many of the people, as of now, they have been completed the TestNG, and then we are going for the Maven. So today, what I'll try to do is I'll club the Maven and TestNG, but I'll not talk more about the Maven and more about the TestNG, but our target is to do with the rest assured tool, so that we will try to see it. Okay, so these are the things which we have been seeing it in terms of the objective of the session and the prerequisites of this. And later on, what we have done is we went to the microservices and the monoliths. So what do you meant by the monoliths and the microservices? So the previously the monoliths are nothing but everything has been hosted into the same server, and if you wanted to change anything, it is very hard for us. And then the microservices has been divided into a smaller components. Oh my god. So now, if you've seen this one, so it would be divided into this smaller components, and then that particular components we will it is easy for us to do this architecturing. So that's we went for the microservices. So that is what we have been discussed last time, and we have been discussed about the differences. For then the first we have been seeing the differences between the architectures, like what do you meant by monolithic architecture and what do you meant by microservice architecture. We have been discussed about that, and once we have been discussed about this monolithics and then microservices, then we went for the differences between what do you the differences between the microservices and the APIs. So there we have been discussed what is a microservices. So microservices in architectural, and then in that particular style the applications would be created. So now the same way the monoliths is also an architecture how we create the application. So that's a one of the architecture, and then this is a one of the architecture, and then how this particular APIs, and then the difference between an APIs and the microservices are. So we have been quickly taken that. So these are the particular APIs which it can be used in the microservices. So as an interface between between any particular two systems. So we will be using it as APIs. So now if you see here, so this is what our one of the microservice, custom microservice for this one to the client server or the client browser, sorry. So if you wanted to do it, so at that point of time, so the API will act as an interface. So that's how the APIs will be used for us. So this is what the basic differences which we have been different discussed between the microservices and then APIs. Now, later on, we have been started discussing about what are the basic differences between an API and the web services. So the basic differences, what do you meant by API? Team, can you please go on mute? Okay, so here we have been discussed. So here we have been discussed when means what do you meant by exactly an API? What do you meant by an web services? So what is the basic differences between a API and then a web service? So this is what we have been discussed. So now APIs are not means this can be used in offline or on the online. Means for an example, we do have the jar files. Means even those jars we will call it as an APIs. So that can be used in offline or the online. So now, whereas in the in the whereas web services, so the name itself, it was saying that web services means it works on only the three-tier architecture. So we have been discussed about one-tier architecture, two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture, four-tier architectures, applications, and then we seen it means why how we will call it as a web architecture. I'm sorry. So the web architecture, which is a three-tier architecture, and that should be worked on the internet itself. On the online itself, it can be worked. On the offline, it will be not work. So that's a basic difference between a web service and an API. So now, so we have said that all APIs are not web services. All web services are APIs, because now means the APIs may work offline or online, and then it can be for the local system. So that's where means all the web services are the APIs, but all the APIs are not the web services. So this is what we have been discussed, and later on we have been seen what are the other specific differences between in the protocols, whether it was open source or not. So these are the things which we have been discussed in terms of API and the web services and the web APIs. Yes, as we have been discussed in detail about these particular topics, I was quickly recovering or giving a recap on these particular items. Okay, so now but still, if you have any particular questions, you can stop and then you can ask me. And here we have been discussed about what are the different type of APIs we do have it. Type of APIs means, now first we have been understood. So actually where the APIs has been born. So first we have been went into the architectures. In the microservices, the APIs has been born, and we came for the API, and then we understand what is an API. Hope you remember that the hotel we example we have been given. So like we go and then we order for the food, the server will go and again give back me the server will give back me the food back to the client. So we have been discussed about what you meant by API and how the API works. So these all things we have been saying it. Now there we have been explained about what do you means what are the different type of APIs we do have it. What the SOAP API, JSON API, XML, REST APIs. So we do have been discussed about this. There are different classification. I told that RCP we will be discussing later, but we will be discussing about the SOAP APIs and the REST APIs. And then we have been started to discuss what do you meant by a SOAP. The SOAP APIs means. So the SOAP means it's an expansion of a simple object access protocol. And then what would be the template of that particular API? So now if you see here, so this is like an envelope. So we will be keeping all the body into the envelope. So it's like we have been discussed the postcard and then envelope example. So we will open the envelope and then we'll keep the letter inside that particular envelope. So now we do have used to have that postcards also. There is no need to close anything. So we can directly write on the card and then we can use it. So that's the different examples we have been discussed on SOAP, SOAP and then REST. And later on we have been seeing that what do you meant by REST, the expansion of the REST, and what do you meant by REST. So and what are the constraints if you wanted to create an API, REST APIs. So that's where we have been discussed about all these particular 6 constraints which we wanted to keep it on this. And then we have been just discussed how the REST APIs will work. So now for an example, so the rest can be worked in the terms of XML or in the JSON. So now how we will request to a server, and then how the server will respond back to us. So this is what we have been discussed in terms of the API communication between a server and the client. And then later on we went for the SOAP versus REST APIs. So we have first known what do you meant by SOAP, and we understand what you meant by REST and how the communication happened between the server. So once we have been understand, so we have been seeing the differences between SOAP and then differences between the REST APIs. So we have been discussed about all these particular 6 factors, and then we have been even discussed. I think Maulali was part of this, and then he was talking about the GraphQL APIs also. So now in the current trend, in the current market, the people, the previously in the old, the people are using SOAP APIs, and from the SOAP APIs we have been migrated to the REST APIs, and from the REST APIs we have been migrating to the GraphQL APIs. The currently the people are migrating to the GraphQL. So because of the lot of advantages, so even that particular advantages also we have been discussed over here. And once after this one, so we have been discussed about the status codes. So now what are the different type of status codes we will be having it. So now for an example, if we have one double X, what is the status code we will be having it. So this is completely an informational. And then if you have two double X, it is a success status code. If you see here, so those are the codes we'll have it in the series of 100. We'll have 100, 101, 102, 103, 102. So these are the things, and it is not really required to remember all these things, but at least the minimum things which we need to remember. So what do you mean by 100 status codes will be doing it, and then what 2XX status codes will do, 3XX will do, 4XX will do, 5XX will do. So if you see here, the 2XX always gives us, it's a success, means whether it means if the endpoint is having giving the success response, then we'll be calling it as 2XX. And when we do have a redirectional, means from our website we are navigating to any other website. For an example, from our website we are navigating to the YouTube or the Facebook or for the Instagram. So when we are doing the redirects, so all those things will be falls into to the 3XX. And if it is anything, any issues in the client side, so then that is called the client. The client side means the front end which we are trying to see, that is called front end. And the complete the code and everything which you have been written the back end, so that is called the server side coding. And if there is any problem from the server side, so then it will resulted in 5XX. And if there is any problem in the 4XX, it will be resulted in the front end. So whenever you see the status codes with 4XX, so we need to understand that, oh, this is some client side errors I'm getting. And when it was getting with the with a series of 5, then we need to understand, oh, this is a server side error I was getting it. And if you're seeing with the 3XX, so they are getting the redirectional. 2XX means it is success and then created. And then 1XX, it will gives me the information. So these are the list of status codes which not I already on that day also I have been told it is not really required to go for all these things. In our testing itself we will see all these particular things. So this is what we have been discussed on that day. And if you see here, so these are the topics which we have been discussed on that particular 2 days of the last weekend. And then all the sessions and everything was recorded, and the sessions are available in the repository. So this particular 15 minutes of time, I just wanted to give you a quick recap what it had been happened in the last session, and from where we need to start this particular session. We wanted to give the initiation. So if you see here, objectives, prerequisite, microservices were the monoliths, what's an API, and what is a microservices and then APIs, and what is the difference between the web services and the APIs, what are the different type of APIs in the market, what is REST and differences between these all. And we have done the real time. So do you remember, so we went for Swiggy, and then we have again clicked on the F12, and then we have been seeing it. For an example, we went for Swiggy website, and then we have been clicked on F12, and then we just went to the network tab, and then we have been seeing how the requests are making over here. So we have been seeing this. So and then we have been gone through the request and taken that particular URL, and then we have been navigated that. So these are the a couple of things which we have been done on the last. So now slightly we have been started from here. So now we wanted to start with the Postman, and then we have been installed the Postman already into the system, and then how this particular Postman works. So we have been discussed about this one also on that particular day. So like slightly we have been discussed hmm, the few means how to work, or how this particular Postman will work, and what do you meant by a collection, what do you meant by an API, what do you meant by an endpoint. So these all things we have been discussed in the previous sessions. uh, if at all someone has been joined new, so I'm expecting that you guys need to go through that particular previous session so that you can have the information on what we are trying to exhibit now. So I wish and hope, if you guys are not means if you guys didn't gone through that particular videos, I seriously recommend you to go through that. And this is the order or the sequence which you need to see into that, and then you need to come back to our session. Okay, so today what we will be means agenda specifically for today is, so as we have been quickly given the recap on this particular concepts, so we will be start working with the Postman, and then we will be creating our own servers for our API. So I'll let you know, and then we'll try to automate. So these are the three basic items. So today completely the working session, and by today itself you can understand how easy it is to test it in the rest assured. Okay, let's get started for today's session. Let's see. Okay, so first of all, we wanted to understand why we need to test an API. What is the purpose of means why we need to test? See, now I know what is an API, and what is the point of testing the API? Why should I do it? Any questions? No. Okay, you want me to specifically ask someone, or anyone can answer this?
We test APIs because we want to know the issues prior to the UI, like prior finding the issue in the UI. It is better to find the issue in a API, or whether it is working or not, and the performance as well as the functionality, so that we can catch the bugs faster and know the feature better.
Excellent, excellent. This is what the answer. See, guys, the first pointer you need to understand that. So now you know our testing pyramid, right? So in the testing pyramid, the first thing is our units, and once after the units, you'll be having the APIs, and then once after the APIs, will have the UI. Here we will have the web UIs and the mobile UIs, and here we'll be having our ETL, and then we'll have the performance and our security. If you see here, this is usual the market or the industry testing pyramid. So now always means once we have been developed any particular application, so all the application, the first thing it will go for the units, because if there is any particular bugs, that can be easily and quickly catch the particular bugs in the unit testing. And if every test cases are being passed, so then it will come to the API layer. So in the API layer, if you identify the particular bug and I fix that particular bug, then the cost of that particular bug, or the cost of that particular defect, it will be reduced a lot. Because now if at all I have a bug here, the same bug will cascade it to here. See, now the same bug is here, so it cascaded to here, and now from the same bug is here, and it was cascading to this. So in the hierarchy of the execution, so as early as possible, if you detect a particular bug, fix that particular bug, so the cost of the bug is also reduced. So now it's the same example. So now we will be testing this one from the login page, right? In the login page, I do have the username, and I have the password, and I have the login button. So now if this particular functionality is not working, so from the API itself, if I'm able to identify there is a bug in this login functionality, then there is no need to run the UI cases at all, right? So that's the reason it saves the time, it saves the cost. So that's the reason. So for in the hierarchy of the testing, so it will gives in the API. And if you wanted to test 100 test cases of UI test cases, approximately if it is taking 5 hours of time, if you are testing the same 100 test cases from the API, you'll be getting, this is 5 hours of time I was giving it, and here we'll be getting it 10 to 15 minutes. The execution speed will be much more faster in the API testing. So we can identify the bugs as quickly as possible, and because of this one, it reduces the cost of this one, and then it can reduce the time and cost, and the execution time also, it is very much faster in the API testing. So this is the reason so why we need to perform API testing. Or what do you meant by API testing means, as we discussed earlier. So now if you are seeing in this particular context, so now we have been seeing it, right? Now this is called, means what is this called as? This layer is called as,
Collection. Sorry.
that's a collections. The collections is nothing but a group of APIs will form a collection. And what do you meant by API? A group of endpoints will make to form an API. So now we know what you meant by an API. Theoretically, we have been discussed. So last time we have been discussed, right? So a customer means a particular customer will comes into a hotel, just whoever joins new. So for them, just 1 minute, I'll give the example. A particular person is there. This particular person came to a hotel, and then on the hotel, so this guy has been ordered. So now another person, the server came. So the server came, and then he taken the order, and he went to the chef, and he will be asking that, oh, this guy asked me puri. So this guy server will go and then ask the chef, and chef will prepare and give it to him, and this guy will come and give it to him. So now this guy will start feeding it. So now what it happened is, the client has been requested the server, and the server has been responded back with the responded back for the request. So now, so whatever the transitions, the transactions happen, so this guy means the server, this particular data transition which it would happen, so which is called an R API. So now what means, why means, what do you meant by an API testing means? So all these particular endpoints are working fine or not. So the most important thing which we have been further means we have been discussed about is the CRUD operations. The first one is Git. So hope you guys has been remembered this particular example, and then which we have been discussed over here. Uh, where we do have multiple CRUD operations which we have been performed, like the create. So for the create, if you are using it, so we'll be using the post method. And then when we wanted to, post method means here it will do two things. So now it will create a transaction, or it will create a record, because you need to understand. So now get, it does nothing. So just it will fetch the data, and then it will show it to you. From where it will fetch the data? From the server it will fetch the data, and it will show it to you. So get request will not consume lot of resources. And put request, what it will try to do, so just it will go to the existing record and make the changes. I given the example. So now I wanted to change my profile, so I'll just log in, I'll go to the profile page, and then I'll just change. Previously my name is Chris, and I wanted to change it to Krishna. So I'll change that, and then I'll submit it. So when I have been submitted that one, it updated my data in the DB. So now that update queries will be there, right? So those things will be taken care by put. And the delete is there, so it will delete that particular record. So now for put, for get, put, delete, so there will be no much transactions would be created, or not much load will be created on the server. But when we use the post request, the post request will create some data in the server. So now it consumes for each and every record, it will create a transaction for this one. Transaction is nothing but, so boss, now I wanted to first add Sonam into the group, and second I wanted to add Vignesh into the group, third I wanted to add Swati into the group, fourth I wanted to add Arjun into the group. So now when I was trying to add these, means create these particular records into the server, so then that is called as a transaction. So now with the help of the post request, we are trying to create these particular records into the server. So now I need to check whether the sign up functionality is working fine or not. So these are all the things which I need to do it, right? So for an example, there is an application. So for, I'll take Amazon application. So in the Amazon application, I wanted to create, I wanted to do the sign up. because this is a very frequent functionality everyone knows. So when I was trying to sign up, what I'll be giving it, I will be giving my name and my email ID and the phone number. These details I'll be giving it, right? So this data it will take up, and then it will be created into the server. So, and whenever I wanted this particular means data, so I can fetch means how many users are there. So there I'll be using the get, but the post will help us to create that particular record into the system. And it also validates whether with the right username password, it will create that particular transaction, go to the server and validate whether this user is right or wrong. So we majorly, the most of our endpoints, see now if you have some 100 endpoints, you're having it, 95 percentage of your endpoints belongs to only these four operations: crude, means the create, read, update, and then delete. So delete is also very rare, but these three things are more frequent. At least 90%, 90 percentage of your endpoints will falls into these three. So now you need to clearly understand what do you meant by post, what do you meant by get, and what do you meant by put. So post is nothing but from the client side. So if I wanted to create any particular records or anything into the server, I'll be using this particular post. And if I wanted to get the only information or the data from the server, then I'll be using the get request. Means from the server, the data will come and then displayed in the client. So then we use the get. Now the data is there in the server. I wanted to update the data into the server, then I'll be using the put request. Okay. And delete request is if I wanted to delete that particular user, I'll be means deleting in the server, I'll be using this particular endpoints. So now I have been having these all endpoints with me, right? I need to check this particular endpoint is working fine or not. If it is not working fine or not, then the same bug it will spawn into this particular front end UI. So the same reasons we have been discussed, right? Why we need to test the APIs. So to arrest the bug as quickly as possible, and then it reduce the time and reduce the cost, and then the execution also it is very means faster. And then this is called a shift left process. So previously all the people are trying to test it from the UI layer. So now once again it takes a lot of time, but now as a shift left process, then it comes to the API. So boss, why you are testing at a UI layer? Test at the API layer. If there is any problem, don't go to the UI at all. So fix the problem in the API layer itself. So that is the reason we started to do the API testing. So here, what I wanted to say you is, what do you meant by API testing and why we required or why we perform the API testing? So this is what we have been discussed now. So quickly, I
Sorry
have
to
been
interrupt, Chris. Sorry to interrupt,
not
but
at all.
actually I have a question. Like in the put end we use for updating our database already in the server. So like an example, like if I want to update my phone number in the Amazon site,
Mhm.
then they will be verifying my already existing account. So would that be like they will use the get and put both, or the put will work alone?
No, put will work alone. Don't worry. I'll show it to you the exact endpoint how it will work. See now, I have been explained you the concept, right? Now, how means that is what I wanted to show you now. So what I'm going to show you is, for an example, I just log in. I think Swiggy. I have been logged in. No? Something I'll show it from the front end first. I'll show it in the same way. I'll show it in the back end also.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I think I've been logged in here. Or no. So we will be having an update page, right?
Yes.
We will go to that particular update page, and then when we are doing the update, it should know where or which for which record I need to do the update. Definitely, it should know that.
Yes.
So now I'll show once
Yes.
here, and then practically also I'll explain that. Okay, so now here, if you see in here, edit profile is there. I click
Yes.
on this particular edit profile, and if I changed anything here, so now if I change this one, I changed this one to .001. Now, as soon as I'm going to click this update button, Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
in the back end of this particular update button, this endpoint will be called. Means as
Yep.
soon as I click on this, so now if you see, if I click on this particular button, now in the
Yes.
back end it will call me a put request.
Yes.
Now what this put request will do is, for which login, because already for this particular put request, it know that this is for Chris account with this particular mobile number.
Okay.
Okay, this will pass this particular detail, and then it will hit to the server, and first it will see what is the value. Now previously the email id is krishna.chaitanya.c @gmail.com. Now this data, it will fetch that particular data, and this would be updated with krishna.chaitanya.c.001 @gmail.com. This will update. So
Okay.
it will take this parameter, and then it will update it. It will not
Okay.
go to the post. It will not include the both the things here. So
Yes.
put by
Okay.
itself, it will have that particular credentials, and then it will execute it. So don't
Okay.
worry, I'll show you how the things work practically so that you can understand.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, fine. Now coming back here, now one more pointer which I wanted to say. So okay, so if you see here, now I'll go back. Why we should do means, or why we should learn something in the Postman, and then we need to go for. Boss, I came here to learn rest assured automation, or the API automation which I wanted to learn. Okay, now why you are talking me about the manual, or why I need to do it with the Postman? See, one thing you need to remember, right? Now, for an example, I need to enter this particular URL, and from this particular get endpoint, okay, from the get endpoint, I'll be getting this particular data, and I'll be validating this particular data. And with the post endpoint, I'll give the post body, and then I'll be getting the response for this one, and I'll be having a put body with with the post body. I'll go and update that particular data. So you should know what exactly get meant, or what we need to validate from this particular endpoint manually, and post what exactly you're trying to do, from put what exactly you're trying to do. If you understand this one manually, and then perform that particular testing manually, then whatever the steps you are doing, that can be converted into the automation. That's it, right? So now usually what you are doing, you are navigating to your browser, entering the username, entering the password, clicking the login button, and then you'll go to the home page. Will you not do manually and then write the code, or will you write directly code and then you do the manually? So always first you should do the manual cycles and manual testing, then only you should do the automation. So first of all, when you wanted to learn the rest assured or any API automation tools, so first you should know API testing, the manual API testing. So how you will test that particular APIs. So first that thing you should learn it. So once you have been learned that, then it is easy for you to convert into the automation. So now what we wanted to do is, we wanted to guys, just give me 1 second of time, please. Okay, so now the first we will try to do with the postman with all these things. We will see what is a get request, what is a post request, what is a put request. Then once we understand this one, then we will convert these particular steps into the automation. I'll try my best to show you in the both. So now for this one, what would be the first step which we wanted to do is, so we should get that is, just give me 1 second of time. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so if you see here, now what we need to do is, so we need to have, if you wanted to do the API testing, now we should have the APIs first, right? So every company will have their APIs. We will not get that particular APIs, right? So we do have few APIs available in the market. So the free endpoints or free endpoints or APIs which are available. So that particular endpoints we will first try to see it. So if you go to this particular site, last time you remember, right? So we have been given for the request response. So the websites which we have been called for. So we have been seen it, right? But actually, even if you take these particular endpoints, we are not able to manipulate this particular data. So we wanted to take this particular endpoint and do the manipulation. This was not happen. So to have this one locally means we wanted to have certain APIs. So if you have that APIs, we can take that particular APIs and then we can test that and we can do the automation. So first thing, what are the steps we wanted to do it? So first we should want the APIs. So in this particular APIs, we will be having get and then post and then put and then delete. So we will take, these are the basic important things, right? So first we wanted to have these particular APIs. So once we have this particular APIs, then what we will try to do, we will put it into the Postman, and then we will start to test this particular APIs manually. So first we will see what are the things we wanted to test manually. By this we can understand what exactly get, post, put and delete. So we will understand them, and once we tested manually, then we will go for the rest assured, and then we will test them with the we will write an automation script for them. Writing this one, it is very simple. So first we should know understand these two particular steps. Okay, so this is what our roadmap and plan for today. Cool. So any questions? So as of now, we have been just discussed the recap of our session, and then we have been discussed why we need to do the API testing, or what do you meant by API testing. So this is the things which we have been discussed. Now we are going to test this one. So as we don't have this particular APIs, what we wanted to do is, so there is something available in the GitHub, so which is called Json Server. So now one more thing you need to remember, that all these APIs means we talked one thing, right? We will be having client and then we will be having server. In server, we should means the data should transfer from the server to the client. So this is what it was happening, right? So now we need to have a server and the client. So now I can't go and buy a server and come back. What do you mean by server? So I'll make my local machine. So my this laptop, whatever I was using, this particular laptop, I'll make this one as a server, and in this particular server itself, I'll save some particular data, and we have the data and the server, and even the endpoints also, or the APIs also, they have been written. Some get endpoint and post endpoint and delete endpoint, they have been already written that. So now I'll use this particular endpoints, and I wanted to test this particular endpoints via Postman. So Postman is a tool where if you wanted to test this particular endpoints, so manually we will be using a Postman tool. It is very user friendly. So that's where we have been discussed. In the last video, we have been discussed about means how to get a collection. Once you got the collection, how you need to import into this, and once you have been imported that particular collection, so how you are trying to use that. So we have been discussed about all those things the same way. So now what we will try to do is, so first we will get this particular server setup, DB setup, API setup, and this is very, very simple. Nothing more difficult steps we will be having it here. So what you guys need to do is, so here this is what the GitHub URL. So if you see, we need to go to this particular GitHub URL. Okay, so now here they have been already given this. So now this is called Json Server. So what it will do means, it will gives us the full fake REST APIs. It will be giving to us, and within 30 seconds we can up and then we can run. This is a very faster thing which we can do it. For to doing this one, so now we need to install this one into our system. So now there is a good documentation over here. So just we need to do this installation into our server. So if you see here, we need to have to install this one. The first step we need to have npm we should download. So npm means node package manager. Don't worry about it all. So you wanted to install something means for doing that particular installation, you should have this node package manager. For this, what you need to do is the step number one. I think you need to quickly write down this particular steps. The step number one, download. If you are already having, it's okay, but if you have the real-time endpoints, if it is okay, but for having the dummy APIs, because you need to practice that, right? So to do that particular practicing, you need to do this. So first you need to go and you need to have this one. Okay, so Node.js for Windows. So you need to type this one and then just go to the downloads. And once you go to the downloads, you'll be reaching to this particular page. And mine is Windows 64. If it is someone is using Mac, they can download the Mac. Or mine is just I need this MI 64. MSI means REXE. So 64-bit my system. I just click on this one. It will start to download. Means if I ask to save this one, it will save into my machine. So now once I have been done this one, it will come to my downloads folder. So where is my downloads? In the downloads, I'll be having this one. So as soon as I just start double clicking that, so it's as usual, the installation exe file installed, next, we'll be having it, right? You'll be clicking that. So once after doing this one, so now Node.js would be installed. So to check whether the Node.js is installed properly or not, just go to the CMD, and here you need to write npm. So what is Node.js? What is the purpose of Node.js? These things are not relevant to this particular session. That's where I'm not talking about it. I just wanted to make a server up and run, have some APIs into my system. I don't have that particular APIs. That's the reason I was getting this fake APIs into the system. So that's where I need to install this JSON server. For doing this particular installation, I need to have the Node.js. I installed the Node.js. Now what I need to do, I need to check whether the installation is properly happened or not. So just I need to give npm hyphen version. It given me 6.14.13, which it was installed in my machine. Step number 1 done. Now, okay, so Node is installed. Now what I need to do, so just I need to take this particular command and then I need to keep it here and I need to run that. So now what it was happening, it started doing the installation of this particular JSON hyphen server into my machine. It started, if you see in here. Okay, it installed for me. Now as soon as it installed, so now what I need to do, so if you see here in the documentation part, so boss, install this one. And if you wanted to create any particular db file, you can create it. And if you wanted to run that particular server, start the JSON server, so just you need to take this command and then paste it and then run. That's it, your server is up and running now. So it's everything is ready. So now how we wanted to check whether the server is running. So first thing is localhost. Localhost is nothing but my local machine. On this is the 3000 is a port number. So port number is, for an example, if you wanted to enter into a home, you'll have the main door, right? So for any particular communication, so if the data wanted to enter into the system or go out from the system, so we should have a port. So that is the port number. We do have some 65,000 port numbers are there. So one of the port is this. So now if you see here, when I started to run this, you see here the data, it started for me. See, it was saying that congrats, this is installed. So the step number 1, what you need to do for this one is, so if you seen here, so first I should install Node.js, and then I just need to go for command prompt and then enter these two commands which we have been seen here in this one. So this is what the first command which I need to install, and the second command which I need to start that particular server. That's it. So that's what he told, within 30 seconds you can up and run. So install Node.js, go to the command prompt and then get into this one. So for this particular fake APIs. Okay, now we have been up and running. So now we need to test this one, right? Whether it was having this one or not. So now we will see it. So as soon as I click this one, it was ready for the post. Excellent. I allowed it. So now I'm able to post something. And if you wanted to see comments, if you wanted to post some comments, like no, there are no comments are there. If you wanted to have the profiles, we don't have the profiles. We can create one by one. So as of now, I'll restrict and limit the things so that it will be much more easier for us to understand. So now I'll go to the Postman now. Into the Postman, So last time we have been created this mummy routines, right? So remaining things, I'll try to delete that. This also I'll delete that. Okay, I'll create new things. Now here I wanted to add a request. Now first request, what I'm doing, I'm trying to do the posts, right? So posts, I'll write this one as fake post API. So okay, so I have been just given the name for this. Now what I'll try to do for doing this one, this is what my URL, right? So I'll copy this particular URL and then I'll paste it over here. Okay, so now this is a get request. See, now I can have, means what are the different type of requests we do have it. So get, post, put, patch and other things are there. I told you, right, 95% we used on get, post, put and delete only we'll be using it. Patch also very rarely we use it, so we will leave these all. So as of now we will play around this 4. So now what I need to do, I just given the post URL. So as soon as I click this particular send, wow, so it was giving me some data saying that, okay, I have the ID as 2 and the title is superstar, the author is Rajnikant, and the 3 superstar Mahesh. So now we got this particular data. Now what we wanted to do, but these things are very simple. Don't tell me about this. First you tell me post, then you come to this one. I'll talk about post and put, and then we will try to have the break so that it would be easy for us. Now if you see here, for this particular request, as we discussed last time, we will be having authorization keys, means there will be some authenticated key for this one to access the endpoints. But as this is a fake endpoints, we will not have it. But if it is a company endpoints, we will have these authentications. If you see, this is one of my the previous company things. Okay, so this one, okay, for this one they didn't added it. So they will be having the headers, and then the authentication also will be there. So that would be very hard to access those things. So that's the reason we will not use that. Okay, so the authorization will be there. I'll talk about this one when I take the original endpoints. This is what the headers. When I'm trying to request something, these are my headers. So I'll keep this one as headers, and I need to create the body for this one. So now when I wanted to create the body, so there are different formats to create this particular body. So now what I'll try to do, I'll try to take this particular body and then I'll try to create over here. So if I see here, okay, now I wanted to create. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to post a request, right? So this is how I can give it. So now Chris, why you wanted to do it in this way? Is there any other way to post this? Even you can put it into the form data means here you can have the key and value. Or I'm just using the raw. It is very simple for me to do it. So now what I'll do, I'll just give for this one as 001. Okay, and then the title I can give it like megastar, and I can say that this is Chiranjeevi. I'm just giving some random things. So I have been given this. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do the post thing, and this is what my URL, and this is what, see now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to insert a particular record for the post. Now we will see, and we have been sent a request. There is a type ID issue is there, undefined ID. Okay, so whether I was defining with this more characters. Okay, what happened to this endpoint? ID is not defined.
It should
Okay,
go in JSON format.
no, this is a JSON format only, right?
No, the text, it is selected as text, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, and thank you for letting me know this. Excellent. I forgot to change this one. I kept it as a text. Thanks, Srilata. So now, as soon as I have been inserting the same ID, if you see here, I'm trying to insert the same ID. It was coming me as a duplicate ID. Okay. Now, first I'll try to see. I'll take this one. So whether this is working fine or not, I'll copy this one. I'll go to my here. Previously, you seen it, right? I have only 1 and 2. Now I'll see this one. If you see here, I'm able to see one Chiranjeevi megastar. I didn't understand. Can we try one more thing? Yes, yes, I'll come back. So now once again, we'll go here. Now I'll say that this is as power star. So here we'll have PK. Okay, so now we have been just doing it. I mean, this ID should be unique, right? So I'll keep this one as 6, and I'll just try to send this. So now it inserted. So now what I'll try to do, I'll just go back here and I'll see that. If you see here, wow, if you see now, that's a 1, 2. So now I have mega star, power star. Wow. So this records has been inserted. If you see now here, it was coming as 201. You remember, right? When I successfully created a particular record, then it will fetch me the 201. Wow, I got it. I got it. So this is how, oh, for this particular URL, I'm passing this particular data. It will go and insert the record in the DB. Whatever. Awesome. Awesome. I'll understand that one. Now, guys, you need to know for this one, what do you meant by JSON, JSON object, and what, if you mention in this one, what is the difference? See, now this, when you have been inserted in the curly braces, then this is called an object. And when you have a square braces, you'll be calling it as an array. Don't worry. So we have a separate session on the JSON, which I have been planned. So we will be discussing in detail about what you meant by JSON and the giving the demonstration, creating of the JSON file and all. But in the meantime, just bear with me. So with this one, so what we are trying to do, as this is a post request, I'm using this particular headers. I'm posting this particular data. I was doing it. Now get request, what? Get request, what it will do for me. So if I kept the get request and click the send button, you see it, whatever the records are there, it came for me. Wow, awesome, awesome. I got it. I got it. So now you are getting it. The status code for this one. So 200 means successfully this particular endpoint is executed. And what is the time it was taken for this one? It is taking the 541 milliseconds. And how much size it was taking? It's 723 MB of size. And what is the response? See now, the bottom section is called response and upper section is called the request part. So now this is called the body, right? So this is called response body. So in the response body, this is what my response body, and this is what my response status code, and this is called my response time, and this is what my response size, and this is what my response body, and this is what my response headers. Wow. So now this is what my request authorizations. This is what my request headers. And this is what request body parameters. So now if you see here, the request body will be passed to two requests. One is for post and one is for put. We will be having the body, but for the get and delete, it is not required. So now if you see here, it is very easy for us. So now once again, I'll add one more. So now I'll add one more thing. So now I'll write it as a stylish star. So now stylish star AA, Alu Arjun. Okay, now if I have been clicked on this, it entered. It succeeded or not? It's a get method I was using it. Now what I need to do, when even I either changed here, I didn't change this. So that's the reason it didn't inserted into it. So now if you see here, till now that stylish star was not there because it is not inserted, because I was using only the means get. I was trying to get the data from the server bus. I'm not able to enter into the data. So if I wanted to insert the data, I need to use the post. And as soon as I click this one, so get the post. Now this record has been inserted. You tell me, is this a hard? Okay, I entered the URL, I entered all the headers properly, I entered all the authorizations properly, I entered the body. I'll see, I click this one, whether it was inserted or not. As this is duplicated, it was throwing me error or not. See now, what is the error message I'm getting it here? You see, this is what we need to see. Oh, if I double time enter, then it will throw me the 500. Means if I have the 500, then this is called internal server error. Server, we have been seeing it, right? This is a server error. Okay, now if it is 200, so now if I have given entered into another record, so another record 8. So now what time this star, the mega power star, so mega power star. So now I'll write it as cherry. So now when I have written this one, so now it was saying me the 201. Excellent. So this is how we record the data into the thing. So with the help of the post request, we will insert the data into the server. And once the data is entered into the server with the help of the get request, if you give the get request and whatever the body, it doesn't matter, because it will not use the endpoint with the get, it will not use the body. So it only uses the headers. So now I'll click this one, I'll get all the data. Oh, if you see here, mega star, power star, stylish star, mega power star. So I'll be getting all these particular details for me. Excellent. If I wanted the only mega star, so how I wanted to do it? So now post slash one, if I have been given this one, okay, you see, I'll get only mega star. Now, if I wanted to have 6, so I'll be getting it that, see, based upon this particular ID, I wanted to search that and I'll be able to get this. Okay, so now I wanted to insert one more thing, so I'll do another thing also. So now what I'll try to do, I'll remove this, and in the post body I'll write it like burning star. Who is our burning star? Sampu. Okay, I'm just writing an example. So now what I'm trying to do, as the 8th record, okay, I'll put it as a 9th record. Just remember, 9th record, I inserted it. Okay, now I'll just do the get request. So with this particular post get request, I do have all. So if you see here, I am able to see my Sampurneshwar Babu. Sampu also was 9. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to delete this guy. I don't wanted him. So now what I need to do, I'm just giving in my post, go to the 9th and then do the delete. If I use this particular delete and if I do the send button, okay, it said that it was nothing doing. The status code is 200. Okay, so now when I have been sent for double time, next it was saying that 404 not found, because the first time itself I deleted it. I don't have the record. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Hope you guys has been seen the previously. We do have Sampu as a 9th record, right? So just remove that. 9th record. If you see here, the 9th record was not there. This is what you need to test it, boss. Is it difficult? Is it difficult? See now, it's a simple delete, put, post, get. So that is what we are trying to do it over here. So just we are trying to use these particular methods. And now for an example, in the headers is there, right? So now what I'll try to do in the header connection type JSON is here, it's there, right? Wantedly I'm removing this. Okay, it was by default it was saying I need to save this one after removing this. Okay, I'll save this. No new changes to. Okay, if there's something, if I have been given something wrong, it's not allowing me. So actually we will have that particular things, so that if you have been removed, if you made any changes in the headers or anything, so this particular status codes will be changed. So that's the reason previous means as a prerequisite, first I trained you what do you mean. If it is a 1XX, it's an information, 2XX, it's a success, 3XX, it's a redirects, 4XX, client side errors, 5XX, it's a server side X. So now we have been known the status codes. Now if you made some changes in the authorization and this one, you'll get those particular error messages. But as of now, I'm not able to do this. Is a fake APIs, right? I'm not able to do that. So now, so what we have been overall seen is, so now we are able to get this particular data from this particular things, and we can post that particular data. Now I wanted to make the changes also, right? So I'll see that particular changes. Now what I'll try to do, I'll take this guy. This is there, right? So I'll take this particular record, and then we will try to see the put request, so how it would be. So now I'll keep this one. Okay, so here I'll say that Pavan Kalyan. So I just changed the name. So previously it was speak here, right? So now I'll just so now I need to change this method, right? Put method. And then I was using the same URL and I was giving this. So now it was not found. It was saying that it's not found because I know what's the reason. Just bear with me. Okay, put request for, still it was not coming. Okay, let's go and see what's the problem. So now first I'll see the get request, what it was happening. It was having the ID boss. So /6. Okay, go here, put request. Okay, and see it was PK here. Okay, previously it is PK. Now I'll just try to see. Okay, Pawan Kalyan. Now what I'll try to do, I'll go to the get. Okay, I'll get and then see it. I'll just remove this. Okay. Wow, it changed into the Pawan Kalyan. Previously it was PK. Now it's changed into Pawan Kalyan. Now it's AA, right? Now let's try for this. If I wanted to make change for this one, so first I need to get that record, right? For getting that record, /7. Don't worry, I'll explain what do you meant by URL, URI, and what is this and what is this. I'll explain that we have separate session also. Okay, as of now, I wanted to fetch this record in the post. So post /7. I'm able to get that record. Now, in this particular record, what are the things I need to change the data? I'll just copy that particular data. Okay, so in this particular data, I wanted to change this A to Alu Arjun. I wanted to Arjun, right? All right, it was Arjun. Okay, so now this is what it was having it, right? So now I'll just, so now I wanted to do post, so put. I just kept the put, and then I'll be just giving this, see the status code 200. It taken this milliseconds, and this time it was there. Now what we need to do, so I wanted to remove that record, the number, and I'll see in the get request what it was printing me. So now if you see here, it changed to the Allu Arjun. So this is how the get request and post request and put request and delete request. We have delete, we have been seen with Sampu, and put request we have been seen with Pawan Kalyan and Allu Arjun, and then post request we have been seen for all these heroes we have been seen post, and get always get me with this. So now what I'm going to test is, so whenever I'm using the get request, I'm getting the status code 200 or not. Within the stipulated time, I'm able to get this one or not. If the size is increasing or not. So I need to validate. And what is the response headers I'll be getting it. So these response headers are perfectly fine or not. Now, apart from this one, so for this title, I should get, means for the author name, I should get the hero name. So what is the size of hero name? So whether it's, means I shouldn't get the alphanumerical values. Hero name should be only in string. It will be not having an alphanumeric, right? So we'll not have Mahesh as 007 and the Pawan Kalyan as 002. So we'll not have that. So it will be a pure string. So we'll validate whether it is a string or not, and how many characters it will take, the boundary value analysis. So for this particular string, so what are the validations I need to do it? So it should be having 8 characters to 40 characters, not more than 40 characters or less than 40 characters, and it should be not null, and it should be not error. So like we do general validations, we will be having it, right? All general validations will be doing it in the response body, and all the general validations will be doing in the post body also. So now we will remove this particular, means for an example, now I wanted to update this. Okay, I wanted to update this particular record. Now what I'll try to do, I'll empty, means I didn't pass this particular value. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm just giving this slash, so /7, right? So 7 I have been given, and send. So now you see it's a bad request, 400. Wow. So now what I need to do, okay, I need to give the 7, and what I need to do, so Allu Arjun stylish, I just added this. So now I will be sending this. So now it would be updated for this. So if at all I removed the title, so now I made this particular title as empty, and then if I requested this, what it will happen? So it was having a bad request. So now once again, these all the things also you need to validate. So if at all I missed it, this is a null value verification, null field verification. Now what I wanted to say you is, so these all things we will be doing it manually. So now whatever the things means, you need to pass this and get that particular value and then validate your response bodies. You need to do it, right? So that means whatever you are trying to do, the status code and time size and the headers which you are validating it, and the body, whether you are getting it right or not. See, now when I have been clicked is get, so am I getting all these records or not? So now whether I was, means I have inserted many requests, right? What happened? Couldn't rest. Huh?
Sorry to
Uh,
interrupt.
I Yeah.
Yeah. One question, like you have mentioned in that URL for particularly you want to put, I mean, use the update method, right? So that time you have put ID number. Instead of putting ID number, can we use any other parameter like title or author? That is
Uh,
one doubt. Also,
uh,
without tagging the ID slash in the URL, can we update it or not? That is
y-
possible or not? Two doubts.
that
Yeah.
is, it will not allow you to update that particular value, because it
Mm-hmm.
should know for which value it was updating it, and this all depends upon your URL. So that is what the endpoint functionality. If you wanted to update this particular thing, you need to give that particular record and then update it. See, now you are doing it right. I entered this all data. See, did it changed? Put, it didn't changed. If you see here, it didn't changed. If I wanted, what I'll try to do now, I wanted to change this one. I'll give the /7 here for that particular record. Change, update this one. So now you see here, it updated.
Yes,
Now,
Chris, correct. But the thing is, instead of ID, can we use author? No, right? Only ID
yes,
is the
yes,
person.
we can use that and then we can change it. So now if
Oh,
you
okay,
see
okay.
here, in this particular documentation, they have been given it. See, now if you wanted to fetch the records, so how you need to do it, and if you wanted to do it for the profiles, and if you wanted to make the titles to be changed, see,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so the title and the author,
Okay.
so you can
That
post it in this way also.
that is get, right? But we
uh,
are in the put. Okay, okay.
Post, this is post,
Oh, in
get and
okay, get
post.
slash. Okay, okay, okay.
Get slash, if you want, that's in a post, right?
Uh-huh.
You want it in the post, you need to read this particular
Yeah,
documentation. In the
yeah. Okay.
documentation, it will help you to do that one now.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
Chris,
so the
one more doubt.
Thanks.
hmm.
In which all scenarios we get bad requests, like whenever we miss the fields or fields
uh,
are wrong.
yes, so now, so that is what you need to say. Now if you miss this, so now by seeing this one, you understand, okay, if I miss the field, it was giving me a bad request. Bad request means it was not request itself, it was not good. So now I recommend it was incomplete request actually. So you remove that one. So that's where you'll get it in the bad. So now if you wanted to understand, then you need to understand all these particular things, in which scenarios you'll be getting this. In the status code, if you see in here, this is okay means always success you'll be getting. When you create it, then it will be getting it. And every request will have a definitive definition. So now 400, it's a bad request, means when you're requesting itself, the request itself, it was wrong. Unauthorized request, the request will not even have the authorization barrier token for this, or wrong authorization token for this. So we will be having these all, each and every error code will be there for different purpose. So now you means first you understand the basic things, then later on I'll give you the definitions of this particular thing. See, usually what we will test it from 400 to 404, and maximum 405 only we have been tested till now. I never I didn't have the opportunity for others. Randomly I have been done few more things also, which I have been done few more things. 417 and 412 and 408. This is also most prominently we have been used 408. Yes, and then from 400 to 405 we have been used it. And first we will try to know what is 200 and 201 and these things. Later on, I'll give you the definitions of each and every request, and from there we will try to use it. And it is really, I'll not say it is impossible, but it is really very hard to know and remember on which cases this will be coming into.
Okay, so more prominently, so these are the things we will be doing it. So when we have the payments, so you at that point of time you'll be getting the 402, but we still the payment you're not making it. So and then if you have the a few URLs might be forbidden, so it will be having the forbidden issues. So why you'll be getting it? So we will be having that clarification from the development team also. So boss, when I'll get 403, when I'll get 402, so we will be asking them at the same point of time. Even you should know theoretically once with these particular basic definitions. Okay. Guys, so now I'll take another 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Will you guys want the break and then come back, or you want me to complete?
Yeah, you can continue, Chris.
You can continue.
Yes, yes, Chris.
Okay, so that we can wind it off the session by 5:30 or 5:40 max. Okay, so now by you seeing it right now, what we have been done. Okay, so now I have been tested and I have been done all my manual testing with this particular endpoints, and all these things are working fine. So now I seen how to do get, post, put, and delete. I understand this one very clearly. Now I need to automate this particular steps. So how I should do this particular automation? Now for this one, we will be having the rest assured. So now whatever the things which you have been done manually, you should know to do that in automation. So how to do that one? So we will be doing with the uh, rest assured tool. So don't worry, as of now today I'll show you very basic thing. Tomorrow we will do it in detail level steps. So tomorrow what, okay, at the end of this session I'll say what the things you need to do it. So now as of now, the prerequisites for this one to do this. So already you should know the basics of Java. So hope everyone in this session knows that particular basics of Java. And here two more things are there. JSON already in the, I need to explain for this because you know, right? You've seen it, right? In the Postman, everything is in the JSON format. You should able to understand that. So that's the reason I said we should know the JSON for this. Okay. So soon we will understand about the JSON. And next one, the BDD and TestNG Maven. BDD, I'll let you know when we required. So TestNG Maven. So now I'm able to, I need to write this script and then run this particular program, right? For this one, I need to have the TestNG Maven. So now let's see how I'll write this. I'll first go here. Maven is a build management tool, so don't worry about the Maven and the TestNG. So because the sessions are going on, and if you need any required, so we have already the videos are available in our repository. So please go through that. I'll give you a very high level view of TestNG and Maven in our course of time. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to write a piece of code now. So I'm going to create a particular project, a project which I'll be trying to give. So here I'm going to create a Maven project. So what do you means? What is the purpose of a Maven project? I'll let you know. Okay, so if you see here, I'm just taking a Maven simple project. Usually you used to create a simple Java project, right? Now we are creating a simple Maven project. Okay, I'm just clicking out here and I'll say that. So this is rest assured demo, and then there is a group ID, artifact ID. So don't worry about this one. So I'll be saying that OMG rest assured. So why I typed here itself. Huh? So here I'll be writing it as rest assured demo. OMG, oh my God, rest assured demo. That's it. No more meanings for that.
Artifact is the project name. Group ID is like package name.
No, you don't get into that one. Anyways, we have the Maven sessions. We will have it there.
Yeah.
I'll explain what is group ID, what is artifact ID, version, package, snapshot, and all those things we will discuss there. So please do refer. As of now, for this session, if I start talking about that, it will deviate a lot.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just I was creating a simple Maven project. So just you remember that. So what is we are doing it? We'll do it. So I told you, right? This is the project. Oh my God, rest assured demonstration. Okay, now you see simple the structure. So when you created the Maven project, so the Maven project will have pom.xml file. So if you see here, what do you mean by pom.xml file? On don't worry about that. So why the Maven will be help for us is if I wanted to work with rest assured, now I should have the rest assured jar files, right? means I need to create the object for that, and then access means to capture, to send the request, get the request, store the data. I should play, means that is what the client, right? That is what the tool, right? So this is my Java, this is my Eclipse, and this is what my project I'm doing it. Where is rest assured, or how I should get that rest assured? So now for getting that one rest assured, we do have a Maven repository. So we can type that rest assured Mavens. What do you meant by Maven repository means? For an example, you have all your money, you go and store into your bank. The same way, all the jar files of a different tools, they will go and store over here. And this is an open source repository which it was running, and all the tools available here are open source. That's where they are going and keeping it there. It's like a bank of open source tools. Now this is the rest assured, it's an open source tool. Now you see here, these are the versions of this particular rest assured. I wanted to use 4.3.3. This is the latest version. I need to use it. Now what I'll try to do, simple, I'll copy this and I'll copy and go back here, come to pom.xml file, and in the pom.xml file, before adding this one, so I need to add dependencies. See, it will help me in getting the auto populating it. And in the dependencies, I'll add this dependency. So Control A, Control Shift F, it will give me the readability. If you see, this is what my project, and this is what my dependencies. I added only the rest assured dependency. You see, till now, nothing is there. See, I have only my Java JRB library. Till now, my rest assured library was not added. So now what I'll try, see now still this file is not saved, still the star mark is there. Now as soon as I have been saved this particular file, it generated me the Maven dependency file over here, my Maven jar files over here. So now as soon as I clicked here, you see the rest assured, and these all jars are came here. So this is the reason we have been used Maven. So Maven will be helping to get these particular projects, maintaining this particular tools very easy for us. It will make our life very much easier. So now if at all I wanted to add testing G jar files, what I need to do, I need to go here, testing G, and search for the testing G. I'll be getting the testing G here. I'll need to go, the latest version is 7.4. I'll just copy this particular dependency, and I'll come back here into the dependency file. I'll just add that particular dependency, Control A, Control Shift F. Now, if you see here, as soon as I have been added this, and what I need to do, I need to go for, oh my God, rest assured project, right? So here, Maven, and update that particular project, force update. So as soon we have been run this particular thing, so it will start to add the dependencies of test ng. So let's see whether this was added with the test ng or not. Just click the refresh. So whether it added the test ng jar files, and these are the ham crust, and these things were there, not yet added. Boss, save the file, save the file. Okay, now you see here testing G 7.4.0. See, we didn't save the file. This is a small mistake. You will not understand why these jar files are not added. You'll go browse, you'll not get the informations. Okay, now you see here, I got my rest assured jar files. I got my testing files also. Okay, cool. Now immediately what I'll try to do. So this is the purpose of Maven. I have been used it, but in detail, what is Maven, why we should require Maven, and how to install Maven, and once we have installed, how to play with this, what is this pom.xml file, how we will be adding dependencies and other plugins and all. So that's all together 5 to 6 days of session which we are taking it from Monday. So don't worry. So that those sessions we will be regularly following it. As of now, you need to understand that rather than getting all these particular jar files and then adding to the project, with the help of Maven, I'm quickly able to get my rest assured jar files and testing jar files so that I can start with it. So for that one, I have been used the Maven project. So now what I need to do, I'll be going for this particular test package folder. I'll go here. I'll try to create a new package over here. So the new package here, I'm adding it com dot r a dot demo. Okay, this is what my package. I added my package and I wanted to add a class, the particular class. I wanted to, what I wanted to do here, I'll be writing it for get, right? So get method, okay, with RA. So this is what my class name. I'll not use public static void main because I can execute the program with the testing G, not with the Java. So that's the reason I'll just click this finish. Okay, now my class file has been created for me. Now what I need to do it, so I'll be creating a test case for this one. So first it was public void. Now this one is get method with RA. So I'll write this. So now I created a method. So now if I wanted to convert this as test case, how I should do? What is the annotation I should use it over here?
The rate test.
At the rate test. You write TE and then if you have been given the control space bar, it will gives you, you can select that. So as soon as you selected, it started importing. See, it started imported your version and this is what the test. And if you wanted to run this, you can click on this. Now what I'll do, SYSO, and just I'm saying that super machi. So just randomly I was writing it. So now if I wanted to execute this, I'll just click this, it executed and it was printing me super machi. So now the project has been, so for execution purpose, I have been started to take the rest, test in G. If at all anything means with a normal Java also we can do it. But as I have been trained you people already in the test in G, that's where I wanted to give it to you. For the people, for the Maulali's batch, whoever not trained, don't worry, you will understand very soon. So now just without main method, if I wanted to execute something, I'll be using at the rate test. And it is a very easy for me writing every time main method and executing it. So that's the reason I'm using this particular at the rate test. And this is what my first test case which I have been written. And then I'll just click on this, it will run and then it will execute and it will gives me the result. Either I can click on this run button and do it, or else I can have the run option in the run as test ng, it can execute it and it can print me. Okay, boss, you first tell me rest assured these things we already know. Okay, cool. Now what I'll try to do, now what I wanted to have, the first one, I need to go to the URL first, right? For going to that one, so first what I need to do is rest assured. So now this is a rest assured. To navigate, what is the method we will be having is dot get. Okay, so now in the dot get method, even in the Selenium web also, WebDriver also, we will be using dot get method, right? So now what I wanted to do, I wanted to get the URL. So what URL I wanted to go and do it in this one, we have been tried out, right? The same URL. I wanted to go for this and I wanted to get that, right? I am hitting it. Where now I'm requesting for this. I'll be getting the response. I'm throwing you the ball. You need to catch the ball. Where you will catch the ball. So you need to define that particular object here. Now, what is that particular object? I can define here is I'll have response, right? So I'll take that response. Okay, don't worry what is this, whether it's a class interface, I'll talk about later. Okay, now first I'll have that particular response object created. So now if you see here, this is the rest assured class. In the rest assured class, if you see here, now these all methods are available for me. So later on tomorrow I'll go into the details of this one and we'll discuss about it. And I told you, right? So this is another interface which so another package which we'll have it in this particular interface. It was, I mean, it was able to have this response body, response options and all. So if you see here in this one itself, usually, you know, right? So red colors are in the classes, it starts with the capital letter, interfaces in the purple color with the red. So there's a themes. So in your version, it might be a different color, but you should understand what is the, you know, what is the basic difference between a class and the interfaces. Now, if you, once you come back here, now I wanted, I have been requested. Okay, now what would be the response? So what I'll try to do, I'll do the sysout. so that we can see it, right? Now response dot get status code. Okay, now means if I requested this one, what is my status code? Now what else we have it, we will see. So now in my response, my what is my get res I'll see what are the other methods we will have it. So I'll have get I can have my get body. So whatever the response body, I'll be having it, right? So that body also I'll try to have it. Next, what else I can get it? So get means all these methods are there. See now, if you keep on this one, it will gives you get me the content type. So I'll have the get content type. And if I pasted this one, what else I'll be getting it here? Dot get dot what else I have? I'll see it get headers. Okay, I'll have the get header. What is the header name we wanted to have? So now what are the header name we have here? You will go here. What are my getter header names? I need to have the content type. Okay, it should print me application.json. Let's see whether it was having the proper naming or not. So now I'll go here. I'll keep this header content. Okay, now last I'll keep. Okay, I'll say that sys o space bar awesome. So let's see whether it will work or not for us. Okay, finger crossed, this should work for us. Now just right click, run as. See, it executed. Wow, all the work is done. See now, as soon as we have been requested for this, so it has been came. See now the status code. So first it printed super muchy. So it printed that, and next it was printing the status code of this one. So this printed the status code as 200, and get the response body. Here what I need to do is as a string, as a pretty string, if I have been given this one. So now it will return me. See how it returned me? So exactly how it was there in that pretty string, you are having that particular values, right? So first it returned me the status code with this particular status code, and I wanted my string, the JSON means how it was there, the complete JSON it printed me, and then I asked for the content type. So the content type is application JSON, and then header is this header which it has been getting it last awesome. So this is what you need to do it. So now I'm able to get these values. Okay, what is a test case? Means how you will define a test case? We always discuss, right? Actual value should be equal to the expected value. If actual value equal to the expected value, then only the test case will pass. So now I'm able to get the actual values. I need to compare with the expected values, right? Okay, don't worry, I'll do it. That's also very simple and very easy. Now what I'll try to do, I'll try to asset this. So now I'm just trying to remove this. Okay, let it be printing. What's your problem? Now what I'll try to use, I'll be having asset, right? So accession dot equal, I think we have been used hard asset and soft asset. I was trying to use here soft asset. So I will be having integer, right? Now what I'll try to do, I'll get this particular status code. Okay, now response dot status code, what it was printing me 200. Now I'll take it into a variable int status int status code equal to response dot code. Okay, I'm storing that particular value, and I'm taking this particular in status as my actual. That is what my actual, right? So what is my expected? Expected, I can pass it from any particular data, or as of now I'm trying to hard code that particular data for this. So now I'm giving the status code as 200, it has to come, and then I'm trying to execute this. Let's see. So it printed me, and then accession is also passed. If at all I given this accession as 400, because if you see here, it was giving me 200 only, right? If you see here the status code, I'm getting it as 200. Now I'll just try to give it as 400 in the accession. So now what is my expectation? This will fail and it shouldn't come execute the awesome. Let's see what it will try to do. So as soon as I clicked enter, so now as soon as I click the enter, you see here what it was saying, that accession failure happened, expected 400 but got found 200. See, now you are expecting 400 but the status code is 200. So definitely it will work for us. Excellent, right? Excellent, right? So now you got this one, and now I'll change this. I should have happy ending. I don't want this errors to be there. So now I click on this, run it. I got this. Now, what you need to do is you need to get all these particular values of this particular endpoint, this particular endpoint, getting the status code, getting the status time, status, these all, and do the accessions. And we will say that this particular endpoint is passed or failed. That's it. That is what the rest assured automation. How simple, how easy. So first of all, the simplest thing is doing the API testing manually itself. It's a very easy to understand. Now doing API testing, it is an easy, and doing with rest assured, it is much more easy, because already all things has been written. Just you need to give to pass this and then get that value stored into response, and this object, with this object I'm able to access these methods, get the values, and do the comparison. You tell me, is it really hard to do the automation? But you should know first what to do. So that is what we have learned in the Postman. That is the reason first you should learn the Postman and do this, because whenever you are learning the automation, people directly jump into the automation. They don't know what to test, how to test. They don't know directly what they will learn, the rest assured. So you should come from the basics and then you should learn from here, so that it would be very much easier for you people to